Which this is the best. You guys are all to be commended. This is the earliest everybody's ever showed up. Usually it's like a 20-minute late sort of thing. Like we get calls like, hey, can you guys wait? I'm on my way. That's why we did it a little earlier, less traffic, all that good stuff. So in front of you or on the table, everybody will have a terrarium. You're going to have some terrarium moss. You're going to have your divider. You're going to have a water dish shared communally. So on top we'll have sphagnum moss. We're going to have all of your substrate drainage layer on the bottom, as well as your just your substrate. In the store we have pieces of cork, pieces of wood. You get one small piece of cork. So when the time comes for that, we'll take adventures out into the store where you guys can bring back whatever you want to use, and then we'll set you up with that. So what's included in the workshop is just a minimum. The other reason why we bring you guys in early is you have free reign of the store. So if you want to, get 3 or 4 pieces of wood, big ones or small ones, grab them and drag them back here, kind of see if it works. If it doesn't work, put it back. But you guys have free reign of the store. So mi casa es su casa. So we're going to go through each step of the terrarium build. I'm going to explain everything to you, why we're doing it, what the purpose of it is, and all of this is just, it will just be...
So
Chris is here. Finally. Everybody give Chris a round of applause for being the last one.
Woo!
Oh, the shame.
I know, right? Where do I go?
Looks like you're right here. You're number 1. All right, Chris. You were volunteered to pay for everybody's terrarium. It was a popular vote. So I was just telling everybody discounts on everything, whatever you want in the store. If you want a new tarantula, you get a discount on that today. What's in the kit is at a minimum. Going to explain to you everything that we're going to go through. And then one of the fun things, everybody should have a sticky note on your terrarium with a number. That is important because if you use extra stuff, I'm going to write what stuff extra is on that sticky note. And then at the end, when it's all said and done, everybody gets a vote on what your favorite terrarium is. So this is a competition to a point. You could use like survivor method and vote for yourself, or get some friends and have them vote for you, slip them a $10 bill, hey, well, whatever. All is fair. So those numbers will be the terrariums that you will vote on when it's all said and done. So if this young lady right here has a killer terrarium, she's number 2. Everybody will write down number 2 for that terrarium. But let's get started. So everybody kind of get in front of your the terrarium you've chosen. Chris, you're number 1. I'm going to hand out some scissors. We're going to share for some of this stuff, so everybody start popping open your terrariums. Once you guys are done with these scissors, pass them back to these guys while I wrangle up another set of them. Want a chair? Or in the top scoop, so you can save them if you want. You don't have to, totally up to you. So once you open up your terrarium, there's going to be 2 little plastic clips inside your terrarium. I'm taking, remember, save your sticky notes. So,
Oh, there you go. You're behind me, actually.
yeah, so find those 2 clips and make sure that you do not throw those away. Fall in there, or something that requires a cord. Those will just slide in there and they block off those holes. So let's say you're putting a dart frog in there and you don't want the fruit flies to get out the back. That's essentially a plug. So don't you don't have to install those right now. Just keep track of them so that you don't lose them, because those are not easy to come by. Now, in your terrariums, there'll be a background. I usually recommend pulling off the background. Some people like the background, the paper one. Everybody should have a free cork background in addition. So I would start by taking off the lid, just to press each side, and then you can pull it up, and then take out that paper background because it'll get funky. Yep, yeah, so push in on each side, there you go, lift up. Terrarium is your drainage layer. As you are inputting water into the tank, eventually your soil will get saturated and it needs a layer to go down and settle. So like in nature, you know, an area that the water doesn't go through and settle is called a swamp. If we just add jungle mix to the tank and you're putting in water, then it's going to turn into a swamp. That's gross, that'll rot your plant's roots, your bioactive, you know, beneficial insects cannot live in, well, some can, but not really. Your reptiles won't appreciate it. So what you're gonna do with this layer is I'll put some cups in again. It's gonna go this table, this table, this table. We'll put in like 4 or 5 scoops of this. So you have about 2 inches worth of drainage layer at the bottom. And then we'll go next. All right, guys, so take a cup. Use you as an example of mine. And you'll just take a few cupfuls. Make yourself your drainage layer. 3, 4. So I'm going to say 3.5 to 4 cupfuls, depending upon what you guys want to do. So this table 1 starts scooping in your drainage layer, because if it gets into contact with those two, your soil will wick up that standing water going back and making the swamp, which we're trying to avoid. You will have, there will always be some sort of, you know, kind of trickle down between your layers. Not that big of a deal. He is super excited. Yeah, like 3.5 scoops. Don't go above your dam. Yep, the bottom part here is the cultivator and your base layer of your soil. Head out to the store. Everybody should know where the cork is. And start grabbing yourselves a few pieces of wood to get the ball rolling, get your creative juices going. Consider maybe, you know, the way that you arrange things. If you were to, let's say, for example, stack a bunch of dirt, you know, over here, you could stick this in the dirt, and you're giving it that elevation as well as you're filling in some of this space over here. You can do kind of fun things where you're sticking it in the dirt and you're making it look like, you know, the cork is holding it up or something, like the tree fell on it. Just consider that, you know, using a little bit more the topography. Sphagnum moss. So there's 2 bags per table. So you'll open this up and you'll soak it. Everybody should have a bucket of water at the end of your table. So start with 1, open up your bale, dunk it in the water, rehydrate it. This moss will come back to life, and it's actually super, super cool if it does. So as you're planting plants, so this is long grain New Zealand sphagnum moss. Once it's rehydrated, it'll be really long, maybe 6-8 inches long or so. As you're planting your plants, just take a little bit of that, like a handful, very small handful, wrap it around your root ball. That's a good trick that I use when you're starting those new plants, because the moss will stay moist and it'll keep your roots, you know, semi-moist and happy. So as you're planting, take them out of that little pot, make yourself a little void, nestle it in there, wrap a little moss around those roots, and plant it. Done. And you know, we're kind of in the home stretch. If you're done with your hardscape, you like where your plants are, you like where your wood is, now it's time to look, or to make it look like a little slice of nature, because in nature there's leaf litter, there's mosses, there's stuff growing out everywhere. So everybody should have a box of terrarium moss, as well as leftover sphagnum moss. What I like to do is put the sphagnum moss down first, because if you put green on the dark, it's not going to stand out and pop. So if you put down some sphagnum moss first, and then on top of that put your terrarium moss, you'll have two different layers of contrasting moss, which will look really cool. That will be specific to your specific animal, because I can't talk about lighting and say that, you know, the lighting for a frog in Elaine's house who likes a cold, so a little bit of a polar bear, will not hold true for somebody who's getting a crested gecko in a hothouse. So it's all kind of vague terms. These are the lights that are designed to go on top of these tanks. You have that lid there?
Do you have the substrate there?
There you go. So these are, again, these two are on, you know, you get your discounts on these if you want. You don't have to get this light. This is just the one that fits symmetrically on the tank. So these ones are intended to go over these little clips right here, and they kind of stay on there, and they're not going to come off, and it doesn't look like something that is not designed to go on it. So it makes it really nice. But with that being said, what's the difference between this and the 6-inch clamp lamp that you have at home? Nothing really. You can use your 6-inch clamp lamp at home, and it'll work just fine. Give yourself the tools that you need to inform yourself or to educate yourself on how you have to change your environment to meet your animal's needs. So, you know, temperature, humidity probes are always a really good idea. With those tools, then you know what you need to adjust for your animal. Other accessories that you might have at home, you might not. Little spray bottles. Now that you have your tanks, give your tanks a spritz like 1 or 2 days. That's really helpful. You want to keep your plants watered. You want to keep humidity in here.
1 or 2 days.
1 or 2 times a day. Yep.
Oh, okay.
And you know, don't go crazy. So the part of the reason why we do the drainage layer is that so you can see how much water you're inputting into your tank. So if you're adding cups and cups of water, you'll see that water level rise on the bottom, and you'll know that you need to stop adding water, because you don't want that water level to rise to the point where it's coming in contact with your soil level, because then it wicks the water up and it gets to the swamp. So look at the bottoms of your tank, and that way you'll know where your water level is.
Your moss can be a good indicator too of if you need more water, because it can dry out. So that would be a good indication. If you see it looks a little too dry, that would be, hey, I might need to spray it. So.
Right, so like she said, you know, dry, crunchy, crispy moss versus everybody should have a nice, it turns into that dark golden brown rather than the French fry brown. French fries,
And now we're all hungry.
yes. Workshop we did, there was 2 that were definitely standouts, and then we voted, and it was a tied, and then somebody else, we had 2 more people vote, and that was a tie. So finally we had to go to the pizza shop and get one of the pizza guys to vote for the tiebreaker. Once you have your votes, hand them in to me. Oh, I'll stick them on the tank, and whoever has the most sticky noted tank wins. one? Is there a winner, or is it a 1, 2, 3, 4-way tie?
I think it's
Number 11.
5 now.
So we have a 4-way tie going on. Holy moly! So we need to get an impartial person. Let me go find somebody in the store. Be right back. Ryan, come on in. Everybody wants to have a word with you real fast.
Sorry, Ryan.
So everybody, there's big trouble, Ryan.
Bad. No.
So everybody, this is Ryan. Ryan, this is everybody. Everybody say hi, Ryan. Hi, Ryan. So Ryan is our fish guy, probably one of the least reptile-y of our people. We are getting him there. Ryan, what we need from you is to tell us which one of these 14 amazing naturalistic terrariums do you like best? Don't upset the baby.
He already has.
Ryan. Now we have a 6-way tie. Ryan.
Womp womp. She'll judge.
Tiana, this is everybody. Everybody, this is Tiana. Everybody say hi, Tiana.
We should tell her the ones she has to choose from to break the tie, so we don't have another Ryan
You
incident.
can just choose from anyone.
So Tiana, Tiana is in charge of all of the rodent care in our feeder colony. She's also, I would say, probably a snake expert. She's has beautiful blue hair, and she likes purple shoes. So Tiana, what we need you to do is choose your favorite terrarium out of these amazing 14 participants. Which one do you think is the coolest looking terrarium? Alright, so Tiana has chosen number 8 as the winner. Number 8, please step forward. High five.
Awesome.